Hello, hello. So, this is Anna Imagination with a Healing Garden. Thank you so much for joining me. I am back in my tent. I am back in New York City. I'm going to take a minute to tell you about my journey because it was fun. I ended up stranded in Pennsylvania. The bus broke down. If you don't know, I was upstate. I live in New York City in Brooklyn, and I spent the last 3 days upstate in central New York, 3 hours away for my son's graduation. And on the way back on the bus, we got in the middle of Pennsylvania down in the Scranton area. No, it was Wilkes-Barre. We got around Wilkes-Barre and the bus broke down. And it took them almost 6 hours to bring us a new bus. So I did not get home until literally 11 o'clock last night. And it's just like, oh my God. Like we crossed Lincoln Tunnel around, yeah, at 10 o'clock, like a quarter to 10. So I'm back in my tent. I'm back home. And it was wonderful because it was like this amazing, it was really a wonderful self-reflection. It was I was going upstate and I hadn't been upstate in about 6 months. So when I first started doing the transfer from central New York to New York City, I cannot begin to explain the culture shock, the culture difference. Imagine New York City, like really take a minute to imagine it and just grip your head around all the stereotypes of New York City, right? Got that in your head? Where I grew up was equivalent to the Andy Griffith Show. So that's it. Mayberry, is that where it was? Mayberry. So that's it. Okay. And I knew many Gomer Piles. So I have Mayberry in New York City. And I can't tell you the culture shock. It's very jarring. And every time I make the change, I go through it's very, very hard on me. Like I cannot do it because it's horrible. So, and Mayberry, I associate with trauma also, a lot of trauma. So it's like walking into a massive, I'm guarded and it's defensive. I hate everything about it. So getting back to New York City is like getting back to my safe place. It is my safe place. Like really, New York City is my safe place. So spicy. I love being home. And it was this, I was going through a really hard time and I had this thought of, oh, maybe I have to move back. Can I make it in New York? You know, I feel like some days that I got here and New York just ate me up, chewed me out, and chewed me up and spit me out. And I'm just, I need to go back to Mayberry. And I don't want to go back to Mayberry. And I headed up there this weekend or this last week because I wanted, well, for my son's graduation. And I had this feeling of, how do I explain this? I was looking forward to the comfort of my apartment and all of my possessions. Except I got there and everything felt strange and I felt like none of that stuff was mine anymore and I didn't value it anymore because I just came off of the way of the Buddha for the last year. What time is it? 3. I've been talking for 3 minutes. I'm trying to limit my talking to less than 10 minutes. And I'm going to do more like shorter videos. And it's really hard for me to do that because I'm a talker. So I have really short ADHD focused videos or the busy entrepreneur videos. And I also have my 1 hour long grab a cup of coffee and you're knitting and listen to my podcast. So I'm trying to really hone this down. But I really did want to reflect on this specific issue because it was so extraordinary. I got there and there was no comfort in my possessions. There was no comfort in the atmosphere. I had finally completely detached from upstate. And that was the first phase to that. And then yesterday when I got back and it was like a quarter to 9, or I'm sorry, a quarter to 10, I got off the bus and I could smell that thick city air. And yeah, it stank and it was beautiful. And I felt the energy come back to me and I just sank into it and went, "Oh, I'm home." And New York City has layers to home. There's being on the islands. Once you cross the Hudson River, that's the feeling. It's literally everything east of the Hudson River. It's like it's home. It's like once you get off the mainland, once you get into the islands, it's like yes, it's home. And then the next part of that is I walked to 34th and I grabbed the end. on 34th, the N train. And it's a very weird feeling, and it's very much only a New Yorker thing. You know that feeling when you get home and you just feel everything relax off your shoulders and you open the door to your apartment or home and you're just, "Oh, I can relax because 'cause I'm safe." New York City has that, except it happens when you find your train. So, when I grab the N train is like 2 blocks away from my apartment, and I could be all over the city, but the moment I board the N train, no matter where I am, it's like stepping home. So, you can have an hour and a half train ride ahead of you, but you're on the N train, so you're home. And it's very much a New Yorker culture thing. So as soon as I get on the N train last night, I was at 34th, I was in Manhattan. I live in Brooklyn, and I just went, "Oh, I'm on the N train, I'm home." And I just sat there for like an hour. Well, I stood and then I sat there for an hour. And it doesn't matter that I was an hour away from home, I was on the N train. And then when you get to your neighborhood, it's Brooklyn, you have another shift of, "I'm home, home." Yeah. So the N train is home. The N train is home, home. We're basically wherever you are with your neighborhood, your actual stop. And then when you open the door to your apartment, you've got a third wave of now you're home, home, home. So, and that's it. When I'm in New York City, I'm home. When I'm on the N train, I'm home, home. Yeah, that's it. This is it exactly. There's 4 homes. And then when you get off your actual subway stop that's nearest your home, you're home, home, home. And then when you get inside your actual apartment, you're home, 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 home. So that's the stages of going home in New York City. It's just wonderful. It's warm, fuzzy. And yeah, yeah, it really is. So I discovered this. That's what I discovered. And it made me realize that, yeah, yeah, I finally have a home. It's a big deal. I might no, you know what? This is gonna be changed over to Anna Talks, and I haven't had a home since I was 8 years old. So, it felt good to be home.